101, the new era of sustainable fashion. The highly learned the Dean of the Faculty of Communication Sciences of Pajajaran University, Mr. Dadang Rahmat Hidayat, SH, MSE. The highly learned the Head of Study Program of Communication Science of Pajajaran University, Dr. Nindi Aristi, SOS MCOM. To the Honorable, the Chairman of the Student Association of the Study Program of Communication Science of Pajajaran University, Mr. Farhan Afif Kusuma. To the Honorable, the Project Officer of Research Mindedness 2022, Ms. Mezia Rahmita, and especially to all the participants. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alia Sajide, and it is my honor to be your Master of Ceremony and welcoming you to the 6th Annual Research Mindedness Seminar, Fast Fashion 101, the new era of sustainable fashion. The 6th Annual Research Mindedness Seminar is one of the series of events from the Research Mindedness competition. This year's the seminar carries the title Fast Fashion 101, the new era of sustainable fashion. Also, before we continue the show, let me talk you all through today's seminar topics that is divided into 3 interesting segments. In the first segment, we will discuss more about field data on how fast fashion is developing massively and keeps pushing people to consume more and more. And then the second segment will mostly talk about the impact of fast fashion itself on the environment and what the solution that have been offered by the fashion industry. And of course, the third or the last segment, we will mostly talk about the potential and optimization of digital media as a means of increasing public awareness and participation related to resolving the impact of the fast fashion itself. So, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, before we hear the remarks from several important people who have already contributed tremendously to this event, we would like to thank our generous sponsor, Mandiri and BNI. Thank you for sponsoring the 6th Annual Research Mindedness Seminar. Next, we will hear several remarks starting from the project officer. So, ladies and gentlemen, to deliver her opening remarks, please welcome the project officer of Remind 2022, Ms. Mezia Rahmita. The spotlight is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you are currently in good condition. First of all, I would like to thank the Dean of Faculty of Communication Science Universitas Pajajaran, Mr. Dadang Rahmat Hidayat, the Head of the Communication Science Program Universitas Pajajaran, Mrs. Nindi Aristi, and the Chairman of the Student Association of the Communication Science Program Universitas Pajajaran, Mr. Farhan Afif Kusuma, for attending today's event. I also want to thank the 3 speakers who will provide material at today's seminar, Ms. Indita Karina, Ms. Nada Zarfania, and Ms. Intan Anggita. Lastly, thank you to all audiences who have taken the time to attend the 6th Annual Research Mindedness Seminar. The 6th Annual Research Mindedness Seminar is one of a series of events from the Research Mindedness competition. This year's seminar has the title Fast Fashion 101, the new era of sustainable fashion. The fast fashion phenomenon is concretely a human consumption problem that increased rapidly until it became a huge problem. People are consuming more than they need or use, whereas fast fashion has a negative impact on the environment. The textile industry is proven to produce the most greenhouse gases after aluminum. With the significant effects of fast fashion in the world climate, reducing the fast fashion system is necessary. In the era of globalization, media plays a vital role in providing information with easy and fast access. Apart from disseminating information and entertainment, media can also be an arena for making social change movements. So that this seminar has the aim of introducing the potential and optimization of digital media as a means of increasing public awareness and participation related to the resolution of the impact of fast fashion and inviting the younger generation to be able to play a role in optimizing digital media by developing persuasive communication strategies in increasing public awareness and participation related to resolving the impact of fast fashion. Through this speech, I hope the younger generation can take an active role in helping to solve this problem, and hopefully today's seminar can be beneficial for the environment and all of us. That's all, and thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right, thank you, Miss Mizia, for your lovely remark. Now, before we continue to this remark giving session, as the representative of Remind 2022, I would like to welcome to our dearest lecturer for being here with us today. Now, up next, we will hear a remark from the Dean of the Faculty of Communication Sciences of Pajajaran University, Mr. Dadang Rahmat Hidayat, SH, SOS, MSI. To Mr. Dadang, the spotlight is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Greeting communication. Harmony. I'm sorry because I'm on my way to Jakarta. Head of Communication Studies Program, Dr. Nindi Aristi, speakers, lecturers, head of HIMA Ilkom, committee, student and participant of seminars and competition Remind or Research Minus 2022, which I'm proud of all you. Thank God we can be together in this event and an inseparable part of the Epicentrum 2022. As we know that the scientific tradition of student is not only in the form of teaching, but becomes very important with research involvement and activities. Therefore, this Remind seminar and competition is very important, especially with regard to an important theme, namely environmental issues, which are often marginalized, not least during the period of the disruption and the era of digitalization. I fully support this event and have the highest appreciation for the participant and especially the committee. Thank you also Mrs. Nindi, who always energetically support the students. I, as the Dean of Ficom Unpad, officially open Remind 2022 and I congratulate to you on participating in the seminar and the competition. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good luck, greeting communication, harmony.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Dadang, for the wonderful speech. And also, we would not forget about Vika Unpat Harmony. Very original. Next, ladies and gentlemen, to deliver her remarks, please welcome the head of study program of communication science of Pajajaran University, Dr. Nindi Aristi, SOS MCOM. To Dr. Nindi, the spotlight is yours.
Okay, thank you for having me. Hi, Commerce and all the participants. This is a very, very bright day and a very exciting day that we are talking about. We are going to talking about the fashion industry in today's seminar. So when we're talking about fashion industry, it's about emotional attachment, loyalty, and excitement for brands. And there's only one word to describe how younger generation will change the fashion business, which is this sustainability. Uh, the consumer nowadays will have completely new demands to what it means to be an end-to-end sustainable brand. And we are very convinced that in the future, brand love and brand loyalty will very much be dependent on the sustainability attributes that a brand enables or builds with its consumers. Amid the shock and the uncertainty that the fashion sector is facing during this COVID-19 crisis, there's also a silver lining for the environment. Because based on the 2021 McKinsey survey from 2,000 respondents spread across the UK and Germany, fashion consumers nowadays have already begun changing their behavior accordingly. Approximately around 57%, if I'm not mistaken, that have already made significant changes to their lifestyle. to lessen their environmental impact. And moreover, than 60% going out to their way to recycle and purchase products in environmentally friendly packaging. Now, this is more intriguing to discuss about how about Indonesia. Today, we are going to discuss it in more fun and constructive way from the distinguished speakers that already present here. And as for us, the academicians, so we need to figure out how we can contribute to this changing situation in scientifically way. Therefore, it is with pride and honor for me on behalf of Communication Science Program Study to formally open today's seminar in Research Mindedness seminar and hope that we all can enjoy and participate in fruitful discussion. So thank you, and hopefully we can get more into deeper in discussion about the fashion industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Nindi, for the remarkable speech. Now, last but not least, to deliver his remarks, please welcome the chairman of the Student Association of the Study Program of Communication Science of Pajajaran University, Mr. Farhan Afif Kusuma. The spotlight is yours.
Okay, thank you, Alia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is Farhan Afif Kusuma, as the chairman of Pajajaran University's Communication Science Student Association, or what we usually call as HIMAILCOM 2022 Cabinet of Praganara. I honorably welcome Bundi as head of undergraduate program in Communication Science, and another welcome mentioned towards Kamera as project officer of RIMA 2022. Lastly, I would like to welcome all the participants of the Research Mindedness 2022 seminar event. Broadly speaking, RIMA this year discusses about the topic of fast fashion, which in my opinion is a very interesting topic to raise, starting from its urgency to the engrossing facts behind this topic. I can vouch for this because I myself participated in one of the Reminds giveaway about the related bad effect of the fast fashion phenomenon. And fast fashion is very important topic to discuss as well because it's concerned many different aspects of the environment. I would like to thank the entire Remind 2022 committee for raising such an amazing topic, and of course for organizing this event from the beginning until now. My biggest hope is that the values and the essence that we have learned in this Remind this year can be useful and become a real solution for many environmental problems, like starting with the post-pandemic crisis, climate change, and many others. So thank you so much. Once again, welcome everyone, and please enjoy Remind 2022, the new era of sustainable fashion. I'm Farhan Afif Kusuma. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Farhan, for our last enormous remark. Before we continue to the next session, we would like to say our endless thank to Mandiri and Tanam Duit as our sponsor on today's event. And next, we will be entering the first segment of our seminar after these two messages from our sponsor. Check it out.
Tanam Duit adalah aplikasi yang bikin kamu bisa investasi dengan mudah dimanapun dan kapanpun. Pemula atau profesional, semua bisa pakai. Di aplikasi Tanam Duit terdapat berbagai pilihan produk, mulai dari reksadana untuk masa depan nanti, emas bling-bling yang bikin happy, SBN, sampai asuransi. Sekarang adalah waktu yang tepat buat investasi. Yuk download aplikasi Tanam Duit di App Store dan Play Store. Berikut cara registrasi di aplikasi Tanam Duit. Masukkan nama, email, dan kata sandi kamu. Baca syarat dan ketentuan yang ada di aplikasi Tanam Duit. Sistem akan mengirimkan secara otomatis kode verifikasi ke akun email kamu yang terdaftar. Daftarkan sidik jari kamu untuk keamanan dan kenyamanan transaksi di Tanam Duit. Lengkapi data diri kamu dengan menyiapkan eKTP dan informasi rekening bank kamu. Ambil foto eKTP kamu, pastikan data dan foto wajahmu terlihat jelas ya. Lengkapi data lainnya seperti tempat lahir, status pendidikan terakhir, pekerjaan, penghasilan kamu, dan nomor HP kamu yang aktif. Selanjutnya, tambahkan rekening bank kamu. Tekan lanjut dan kamu akan diarahkan untuk membuat e-signature. Proses pengisian data telah selesai. Selamat bertanam duit!
Tanam duit. Ramadan lebih asik pakai Liven. Semua ada di Liven. Ramadan lebih asik pakai Liven. Ramadan lebih asik pakai Liven.
Thank you to our dearest sponsor for sponsoring today's seminar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, Remind 2022 is an international competition oriented towards research development and the formulation of strategic solutions about this year's theme, fast fashion. On today's seminar, we are also about to talk out the outstanding topics that will take us deep dive into the new era of sustainable fashion. Now, we are starting off with our very first topic from Miss Indita Karina as a senior lecturer in fashion design at Venus University. With Miss Indita, we are going to talk out the fashion historically, get to know how fast fashion is like developing massively, and not to forget to say our big appreciation to our sponsors, Mandiri and Zoya, for sponsoring today's magnificent seminar. But before we jump into the first segment of today's seminar, let us all see what are the finalists thinking about this session's topic. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is the finalist feature.
Hello,
Hi. Hi.
I'm Alodia Amanda.
My name is Rekaris.
And I am Sabita Prameswari from the Walk the Talk team coming from Universitas Gadjah Mada.
My name is Safira Mutmainah.
My name is Wanda.
And my name is Maira. We are from Sinta team. We proudly declare that our home university is Universitas Pajajaran.
I'm Niski.
I'm Shakira.
I'm Alicia.
We are Akal-Akalan Patriarki.
And we are from Gadjah Mada University.
As researching has been one of our interests and also a skill that we want to continue improving, we decided to join the Research Mindedness competition this year. Not to mention that climate change issues is also a political concern of ours, which has made us aware the importance of not only understanding the problem that is the climate change issue itself, but also the advocacy of the climate change mitigation. This is particularly in line with the Research Mindedness competition's theme this year, which has again prompted us to join the Research Mindedness competition this year.
As the students of communication science, all three of us have a deep passion for research. We always try to use our research and analysis skills as well as our voice to make a change in this world.
The reason why we take part in this competition is of course to gain more experience and enhance research skills in the field of communication.
Joining the competition has been a fun experience to us because we got to learn and explore more about a phenomenon that is really close and relatable to us, which is fast fashion and its implication towards the climate change.
Despite all the fun we had, it's also pretty challenging as the research methods of IR and communication discipline are not exactly the same. Formulating the right questions to tackle a multi-layered issue is hard already, and turns out it's even harder to produce knowledge that will be benefit of others. This competition gives me a whole new profound appreciation for researchers out there who are constantly trying the best to make our lives better.
We enjoy conducting fast fashion research in Remind 2022. We hope in the future our research can positively influence the reduction of climate change.
It's totally fun and also challenging because the research topic has often become a public discussion.
Fast fashion is massively rising nowadays. from our point of view, this radical rise is simultaneously growing with the advancement of technology. The advanced technology enables the mass and rapid production while also giving incentives for today's postmodernism consumer behavior. The core objective of this consumption pattern is that people have this need to reach a certain lifestyle and express their identities through certain products as symbol, especially through clothing and appearances. That is why postmodernism consumer behavior complements and catalyzes the practice of fast fashion.
There is a high level of consumer demand for clothes in accordance with the ever-changing fashion trend through social media. This demand requires a fast and massive production process for fast fashion.
In our opinion, social media is one of the biggest factors to influence the rise of fast fashion. Social media allows fashion trends to spread faster than ever. Thus, fashion items are becoming single-use because people tend to buy new clothes in order to keep up with the trends on social media while the lifespan of these items decline.
That was such a critical question that needs a high order thinking skill, right? And that, ladies and gentlemen, the first finalist feature under our first issue. I hope what the finalists say about today's topic triggers us to analyze more about the topic that is going to be delivered by Miss Indita Karina. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Miss Indita. Hi, Miss Indita.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all.
Hi, Miss Indita. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, great to hear that. Now, ladies and gents, before we start today's first session, let's get to know Miss Indita way more by taking a look at her CV. All right. Oh, there she is. She's a long life learner, okay, as we see from her education. And if we take a look on the second page, Miss Indita has developed such a workshop to local communities. Yes, creating series of fashion workshop to local communities, such as unprivileged high school students, Indonesian community, preschool teacher, high school students around Jakarta area. Also joining the NGO named Setali, a local creative enterprise that is focused on fashion, textile, and waste management as head research in 2015 until 2020. Wow. That's a lot. That's a wonderful achievement she got, reflecting from her CV. I am sure there are a lot inside that we can dig in from today's seminar. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that we have been waiting for to Miss Indita, the show is yours.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. Okay, I will begin my presentation. There will be two parts. And just to confirm, I have 25 minutes, right, to present? Yeah, okay. Okay, so now I will begin today's presentation. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Miss Indita, it's clearly here.
Okay. Okay, so today's topic is about fast fashion and the relationship with sustainable fashion. So this is a little about the background, why sustainable fashion is important right now. Yeah, because everybody's talking about it and is increasingly create more awareness among the public. Yeah, so how can the fast fashion industry develop massively? Okay. So it began in the late 90s and the early 2000s. So low-cost fashion reached its peak. So the online shopping is taking off, and fast fashion retailers like H&M, Zara, and Topshop are taking over the high street fashion. So those brands that you see in the mall, yeah, that they are categorized as high street fashion. Yeah, and these brands take a look and design elements from top fashion houses and reproduce them quickly and very inexpensively in terms of the production. Yeah, for example, most of the workers didn't achieve the minimum wage when they produce a single kind of garment, often like For example, in Bangladesh, they are often the wage is like maybe £1 per day. Yeah, so it's very critical situation among the workers, especially. And then when you see the retail sector in the malls, yeah, the high street brands, they often sell it also very, very inexpensive. Yeah, like for example, Primark, they often offer prices starting from £1 or €2. Yeah, and it's equal here like maybe 50,000 rupiah. Yeah, for a single garment in Europe. So imagine how can a worker, the seamstress thrive when just living daily life with such poor condition in wage and also work environment. Yeah, so okay, next. Yeah, brands like these, yeah, I'm sure you are already familiar of it. Yeah, so history of fast fashion. In previous years, consumers were willing to buy merchandise from major fashion labels and from the brand name, and it's also a quality guaranteed. And however, today's consumers want the same latest fashions, but they don't want to pay a high price. So hence, it's called fast fashion. Yeah. And the chief fashion retail operators saw this opportunity in the market. So it's tapped in and it's adjusted to the customers' desires. Therefore, the concept of fast fashion was born. Yeah. So fast fashion was created within the fashion retail to describe the rapid shift of designs that moved from the catwalks, yeah, clothing that you see from the runway to current fashion trends and became very popular in the early 2000s. So things that people see on the catwalks, they want to wear it too, yeah, but they do not have sufficient funds because it's very expensive, right? Like the designer brands, yeah, from the catwalk, yeah, it's you have to have a lot of funds to buy those kind of designer brands. And well, the opportunity born out of that and to integrate it to the retail sector, yeah, so it became more affordable and it's adapted to a more larger target market. Yeah, so the people can easily get the same model, yeah, because as we all know, fashion is heavily influenced by each other, like heavily copied, yeah, heavily reproduced, yeah, even without the designer's consent, yeah, so it's already happening, yeah, and it's a normalized situation, although it's not good actually, and it became very popular in the early 2000s. And retailers aim to increase profits by focusing on key elements of the supply chain and with an emphasis on increasing production speed at low prices. And as we all know, by today, each retail, like in 1 week, they have the cycle of the clothing that is launched is really fast as well. So where did the previous collection go? And it's already replaced with the second collection that is launched on the same month. Yeah, so the dynamic is going too fast and it's overwhelmingly fast. It becomes awfully not good, yeah, very bad to the environment, because in the end today, the biggest contribution of waste, the second biggest contribution of the waste is from textile industry and fashion industry. Yeah. And with this strategy, clothing collections built on the latest fashion trends that you see from Milan Fashion Week, from Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, yeah, from all fashion shows, from all those fashion capitals. They aim to provide consumers with high-end style and at affordable prices. So although fast fashion has been negatively described as the biggest disruptor in today's retail industry, it also has benefited consumers massively, transforming the market by focusing on simplicity, convenience, accessibility, and affordability. And it also seeks to have a positive impact on the company. Okay, so that is the history of fast fashion. Okay, so now fast fashion industry strategy in getting people intention to increase purchasing power interest. So the terminology of fast fashion or definition of fast fashion, it refers to fashion trends that feature a series of high street clothing inspired by celebrities from the catwalk. Yeah, for example, in the early 20s, Paris Hilton was very popular at the time. Yeah, and from current now era, maybe like the Kim Kardashian clan. Yeah, so those kind of influences really affect the fashion and society. Yeah, because fashion is a major influence in lifestyle. Yeah. And the reason why fast fashion can secure a place in the fashion market is because of a person's desire or need to be accepted by society. Okay, so which is referred to Maslow's needs for love and belonging citation. And as some people around us start wearing certain fashion items, people tend to integrate into the group by buying the same or similar fashion items. Yeah, hence trends are born. Yeah, more trends, new trends, and increasingly more like the same look. Yeah, for example, bicycle shorts that which were originally worn by several celebrities and adopted in the US, it spread to China in 2019, even though skinny pants are commonly worn by cyclists. So this is the fashion cycle. It also affects the whole world. Yeah. In conclusion, individuals buy clothes or other luxury goods basically for physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging needs, and self-esteem needs. However, individuals may differ in the degree to which they are affected by these needs, depending on gender, income, or other variables. So what are the factors? Yeah, is social identity. The first one is gender. Yeah, of course, one of the most common social identities is gender. And according to research, women are more likely to buy goods, yeah, comparing to the male counterparts. Yeah, although women themselves are more involved in shopping than men, their distinct identities are also important. Yeah. Occupation. The second one is occupation. Work is another distinctive social identity in which individuals can fulfill their own values and exploit their potential, thereby contributing to society. So working in different positions, people may focus on different attributes of an item before making a buying decision. It may be the nature of their work that requires them to dress in a certain style or simply that people will like them. In turn, consistent exposure to a particular work environment nurtures a person's clothing style and the way they want to express themselves. Okay, so now how technology and social media plays a role in the development of the fashion industry. So maybe if we look back maybe five years ago, yeah, social media has led consumers to adopt and move away from fashion trends than ever. Yeah, so people now look up more to social media rather than fashion trends. And to appease their customers, the brands must follow the forecasts from social media sightings. Trend forecasting using social media analytics allows fashion brands to unlock their potential for commercial and creative success. Yeah. So in the fashion industry, social media platforms can be used to interact with customers as a means of networking with others in the industry and as a way to build an online presence. But social media can also influence designers in unique ways that are changing the way many designers create their fashion. So right now, the current situation is more like the influencers outweigh the influence comparing to the designer itself. Yeah. So famous designers really need to work together with these influencers. Yeah. And it's often in the form of endorsements. Yeah. And probably perhaps giveaway. Yeah. So all those kind of marketing strategies. Okay, so influencers and endorsements, as I previously said before, fashion influencers lead the pack in drawing attention to luxury fashion items by swirling them into their content through things like what's in my luxury handbag videos, yeah, or TikToks, and designer try on hauls. Yeah, like for example, now every retail sector or fashion event has this installation that offers Instagrammable, yeah, Instagrammable prop, yeah, as a way they communicate to the audience. Those influencers communicate to the audience and deliver what they want to show. Yeah, like the designer bag, for example, or maybe a dress. Yeah, high fashion items. And now it's become normal to luxury brands working with influencers too. Yeah, and 73% have already made the leap. Okay, so now I'm just gonna categorize each influencers based on styles. Yeah, because there are enormous range of influencers. Yeah, and I will just categorize in 3. Yeah, so the first one is Coco Beauty. This first influencer, she's more like a high street. Yeah, brands from the high street, and she tries to combine it in a more elegant way, yeah, using those high street brands. She often wears H&M, Zara, yeah, Stradivarius, all those high street retail brands, yeah. But what's more interesting that people look up to her is how she presented, yeah, her social identity, yeah. And because she's a woman, she knows how to dress, yeah, and she knows that she's confident, yeah, and she has this distinctive style, although very a really casual style. Okay, so yeah, often collaborate with big brands like H&M. And then Modest Mira. This one is from a term coined, yeah, just currently, modest fashion. Yeah, so her style is a unique style, a fashion with a touch of modesty. She's also from the UK. She's Manchester-based stylist and fashion influencer that encourages experimenting with styles as she does, like from All Stars and hoodies to Ted Baker, yeah, high street brands also. She shared her style tips on her blog and also on YouTube, her Instagram. Yeah, more like her journey, yeah, to find a style that works for her, like a girl wearing a hijab. Yeah, so that positivity shines through in her thoughtful captions and also photos. Yeah. Okay, so now the last one. I choose this one because it is sourced from a sustainable fashion media, fashion media, that she is one of the important sustainable fashion influencer. She is Holly Rose. She is a Canadian writer, and she is an advocate of regenerative sustainability. She's living in Paris and also a big supporter of local farmers. So she aims to restore the earth and its communities. Reading her blog, I realized that there is still much to be learned about sustainable fashion, such as regenerative textiles and fashion, and where the textiles used in producing clothes from regenerative agriculture. And so this kind of useful information can be found on Holly's blog, and IG. This is highly recommended because it's very educative, and it's good for our own sake of knowledge and slowly living fast fashion, right? Okay. Okay, so that's the end of the presentation. I have another one. Okay, so this one is strategies, strategies for fashion design, sustainable fashion strategies. I hope this is useful for you when you are later in the future, if you want to create a sustainable fashion brand. This can be a guideline, useful guideline, so you can take notes from these. Okay, so what is sustainable fashion? Now we are talking about sustainable fashion. It's the contradictory of fast fashion, of course. The sustainable fashion is highly as well, is slow fashion as well. It has a distinctive definition, but it's still the same thing. Sustainable fashion, slow fashion, okay, circular fashion. So these definitions that is increasing, for the public knowledge. The aim is just to educate. It doesn't mean it's different from each other. It just have the same mission and vision. Okay, so in my presentation, I will focus using sustainable fashion. Okay, so this is a movement and process of fostering change to fashion products and the fashion system towards greater ecological integrity and social justice. Okay, so you already now understand, right, the difference between fast fashion and sustainable fashion. Okay, mind mapping. So sustainability here, it is if you make a branch, you can break down in 3 strong, very important points. That is social over here, environment, and economic. Okay, so social, for example, you can add value. You can look for the trends, the ethics, the morals, the customer demand, consumerism, okay, and also environment, recycling, of course, upcycling, chemicals, waste, pollution, the use of pesticides, how you produce materials, renewable sources, even water use on the manufacture. Okay,
I'm so sorry to cut off our material, but right now, are you sharing another PowerPoint? Are you sharing another presentation? Because it's not changing on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Okay. So here, social, environmental, and economic. Okay. You can see now. Okay. So the economic, the last one, it is heavily related to child labor, for example, local independent business, production methods, man-made versus natural-made, local production, yeah, and so on. Okay. So apply strategies. Okay. So this on this part, it is very crucial that I cite this. So I've been using this strategy from textile environmental design, and I think they have the best guidelines that I also already applied to my syllabus, yeah, to my my students as well, and it from years to year it successfully guide them to create a sustainable fashion product. Yeah, so here the TED10, yeah, it is born in the UK, yeah, I think from the 90s. So they are a textile research platform. They developed a set of practice-based sustainable design strategies that can assist designers in creating textiles that have a reduced impact on the environment. So these strategies are already tested and already making an impact, yeah. So the TED10, there are 10 points. The first one is design to minimize waste. Second, design to recycling or upcycling. 3, design to reduce chemical impacts. 4, design to reduce energy and water use. 5, design that explores clean and better technologies. 6, design that looks at models from nature and history. 7, design for ethical production. 8, design to replace the need to consume. 9, design to dematerialize and develop systems and services. 10, design activism. Okay, so for the first one, design to minimize waste. For example, you can create long life textiles, recycle and reuse of materials, design multifunctional products, reworking existing garments to produce upcycled products, zero waste cutting, yeah. So for example, this is an example of zero waste pattern, zero waste, and the right one is zero waste clothing, yeah. So in zero waste, it is often normal that the clothing will be in geometrical shape like this, because it's made from a rectangular pattern that the designer arranged, yeah, design, like where's the front part, yeah, the sleeve, yeah, and so on. So therefore it's like this, yeah. Okay, so if you ever see a patterns designer's pattern, it will be like this, but this is a zero waste design, yeah. There's no waste. Even they do not wear zippers or buttons, because as we all know, they the short it's a short aged clothing, yeah, because once it breaks, people often just throw it away, yeah. So this is a rectangle pattern, including the sleeves, yeah, the opening, closure, yeah, the front bodies, yeah. So I think you have to obtain a design degree first to design, yeah, the zero waste design. Okay, and second, design for recycling or upcycling. It is from using existing garments, yeah, materials to recycling or re-engineering a product or garment. And upcycling, this is an important term as well. It's a new, it's relatively new here, yeah, in Indonesia, comparing to recycling practice. So upcycling is to adding value through process or concept to existing garments or materials. So it is different from recycle. Yeah, upcycling often uses innovative ideas, yeah, and explorative materials to create a whole new product, fashion product. Okay. Okay, this next now. So this is an example from the runway of upcycling fashion. Yeah, upcycling fashion is often using patchwork. Yeah, if you can see from the middle part of the garment like this. This is made from waste fabrics. Yeah, and the designer manipulated so it looks nice and fashionable. Yeah, fabric manipulation. Okay, just another example of upcycled clothing. You can also drape. Yeah, so I think if you have a little bit of fashion knowledge, you can also do upcycling fashion. Yeah. So you can also add embellishments like pom-poms, maybe, yeah, like over here, for example. And if you have sewing skills, yeah, you don't really have to be that smart though. You just need to stitch, yeah, and to know some basic sewing. You can already upcycle things. Okay. And designed to reduce chemical impacts. So basically this one is just to not use harmful chemicals. Yeah, for example, chemical dyes, yeah, mordants, and to consider natural dyes, yeah, and their processes. Natural dyes is very interesting. Yeah, you can use things, plants, yeah, fruits, seeds, roots, yeah. And here is an example of a natural dye clothing, and it is dyed with rainwater, so it's 100% natural. So if you see here, most of the natural dyed clothing, they often pops in natural color. Yeah, so this is very normal because with using bright colors, that dyeing of using bright colors often uses chemicals. Yeah, so they achieve the color that they want. Yeah, like maybe neon colors or bold colors. Yeah. Okay. Now it is, yeah, for example, like this, yeah, natural colored clothing. And designed to reduce energy and water use. For example, the most simple tool that you can use is digital print. Yeah, you can already find it everywhere. Yeah, digital printing vendors. And prioritize natural energy systems, yeah, using short life textiles or low laundry. Yeah, as we all know, if we use laundry, we use a lot of heavy water. Yeah, heavy amount of water. So some designers try to create and innovate low laundered textiles that, for example, you can wash a single clothing just once a month because it can self-clean. Yeah, it's designed like that. Design that explores clean and better technologies. Yeah, so on this part, you will need a very expensive technology. Yeah, but the most convenient way will be also digital printing. Yeah, 2D and 3D. Okay, and some other parts here are still on research. Yeah, even in the UK or in the Europe. Yeah, like biomaterials, yeah, using cellulose fibers, and also smart textiles using technology, yeah, smart devices. Okay, so this is an example of digital printing. I'm already sure you know about this type. It's very popular as well. Yeah, design that looks at models from nature and history. It is learning from historic examples of extending the life of a garment, adapting traditional craft skills for contemporary context, and consider local materials and production. So this one This is very popular here in Indonesia. If you don't, if you are not aware of it, it is simply using batik, tenun, weaving, woven textiles, traditional textiles, songket. We are rich in textiles, and we have to be grateful for that because it's counted as sustainable fashion. The designer just needs to explore and preserve our own traditional values. We have so many rich culture in crafts. So I think it's a waste if we do not use this kind of techniques. Okay. Next is design for ethical production. It is design that utilizes and invests in traditional craft skills in the UK and abroad, ethical production which supports and values workers' rights, sourcing fair trade materials, and designer acting as facilitators of sustainable enterprise in traditional craft communities. So, for example, here, maybe you are aware of designer working with SME, small medium enterprises, or here you call it UKM. Okay, so those UKM or SMEs that work with local designers, they benefit from each other. Like the UKM or SMEs got educated from the designer in terms of techniques, and aesthetics, and in return the designers can get benefited from local traditions, rich in history, literature, and is more broad in research. So it's an exchange of two tales. Okay, and then the next is design to replace the needs to consume. You can employ emotional durable design or slow design. Design textiles and products which adapt and change with age. Customize, DIY, recycling, reuse, explore co-design, mass collaboration, and crowdsourcing. For example, this slow textiles, it also draws back from traditional techniques in crochet, for example, like macrame, natural dyes. So they are already historical textile techniques that we can use today. We only have to preserve it. This is a very ancient technique. It is macrame. You knot ties, with each other ties, and then you make a clothing from it.
Miss Indita, I'm so sorry to inform you that our time is kind of over. It has been such an amazing material, but I'm so sorry our time is kind of over.
I just have 2 more slides and it's done.
Fantastic.
So design to democratize and develop system and services. You can develop online or local communities. And the last one is design activism. You can raising awareness of environmental and social issues. And it's all about activism approaches. So these are the examples. Okay, so that's my last slide for today. Thank you all for participating.
All right. Big appreciation to Miss Indita for sharing your insight with us in our first session. And I'm sure the first topic put us in a big curiosity to ask more and more insightful questions to Miss Indita, because I personally do. It makes me realize on one and two things, especially about the history of fast fashion, and makes me reflect myself. Am I contributing to the massive fast fashion industry, or am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing and supporting the sustainable fashion, right? Okay, back to the question. You might want to hold on to your question because we are going to be entering the second session of today's seminar with the topic, the impact of fashion to our planet and how the industry deals with it. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we enter into the next topic of today's seminar, Remind 2022 would like to say a big thank you to our lovely sponsor, Mandiri and Zoya, for for supporting today's event, of course. And to begin our second segment about the impact of fast fashion to our planet, let's take a look on what are the finalists thinking about the second topic after these two messages from our dear sponsor. Check it out.
Ramadan lebih asik pakai liven, semua ada di liven. Ramadan lebih asik pakai liven, Ramadan lebih asik pakai liven.
All right. Thank you to our sponsors once again for supporting Remind 2022. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, our fantastic finalists are going to share their thoughts about some addressed issue on the second finalist feature video. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the second finalist feature.
Hi guys,
Hi everyone.
my name is Niwayan Devi Aryase.
My name is Cindy Nurhayati.
My name is David Sento and I am the leader of the Da Vinci team.
My name is Adrian Skanto.
I'm Elizabeth Nadia.
My name is Jonas Steven, a member of the veteran team from University of Pajajaran.
My reason to join Remind Epicentrum 2022 is just to look a new experience.
I joined Remind 2022 because I like researching and I wanted to try out something different and on a more global scale.
For me, the reason why I entered this competition is mainly because of the team relevance to the long-standing global environment issues.
On our experience when doing this research mindedness is that we never expect that this kind of research will come up, and then we have to make sure everything all in order and of course making them according to our needs. And of course we have a lot of time thinking this. A lot of my members, all of my two members are having a lot of issues on making this kind of report of research. But eventually we finally found it. From all of our deadline, our issues and our mistakes on we making this, we finally found the best key to finish this.
I think it is a very tough fight for us. We had many debates, we had many disagreements, we had many different views and different vision of our research when we are choosing our methodologies, when we are choosing what we should focus on our research. But I think it is a very good process for us, and maybe it will be a good advantage for us in the final stage.
Ourselves by starting buying some clothes that is long lasting and sustainable, then we can go out and spread the world about how eco-friendly clothes are very reliable and very everlasting compared to fast fashion clothing.
As a part of the next generation, I think we can contribute a lot to save our world. We can to stop buying clothes because we are their main target. We are their main consumers. On the other hand, we can try to buy clothes were made of environmentally friendly materials.
Alright, and that, ladies and gentlemen, the second finalist feature. Again, it took some analyze to answer those questions. So big salute to our finalists. I hope the previous finalist feature triggers us all to think more critical and pique the curiosity to talk about the impact of fast fashion to our planet and how the industry of fashion deals with it. Of course, I would not be delivering this insightful topic. That is why we have Miss Nada Zarfania with us today. Hi, Miss Nada.
Hello, Alia. Nice to meet you all, guys. My name is Nada.
Hi, Miss Nada. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, to get to know Miss Nada more, let's take a peek on her achievement from her CV. So, to introduce Miss Nada is a sustainable behavior and marketing analyst from World Resource Institute Indonesia. And as we see from her achievement, okay, there it is. As we see from achievement, wow, I do reflect myself there. Good. She used to work at PT Pertamina Hulu Energy at Tuban, East Java as the health, safety, and environment. And also lots and lots of leadership experience. If you take a look on the second page, if you might want to take a look on the second page, that was a lot of leadership experience. Wow, Miss Nada. She's a great person to learn from, right? And how exciting is that? I just know we are all have been curious about the second topic. But before that, let me express our thanks to the sponsors, Mandiri and BNI, for sponsoring today's seminar. Alright, without that being said, I am now giving my spotlight to Miss Nada. So Miss Nada, the spotlight is yours.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I would like to share my screen first, but okay, wait. I think I need to adjust some things first. Okay. Okay. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes, it's there, Miss Nada.
Okay. Then, okay, I'll start. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nada Zarfania Zuhaira. You can call me Nada. I'm currently a sustainable behavior and marketing analyst from WRI Indonesia. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm currently a sustainable behavior and marketing analyst from WRI Indonesia, and today I will give you a presentation that talks about changing fashion behavior in a scientific-based way. Okay. A little bit about WRI Indonesia. WRI Indonesia is a global research institution, or we can call it a think tank, that established in 2014 as an independent Indonesian foundation. We are affiliated with the World Resource Institute Global, which is a global environmental research organization that turns big ideas into action at the nexus of environment, economic opportunity, and human well-being. As you can see from the little dots here, we have many international offices with mainly from with the countries mainly from Indonesia, India, China, America, UK, Brazil, Mexico, and Africa, and etc. We have focus on 5 critical areas. There are land use and forest, energy, ocean, cities, and also climate. Fashion industry, as it is still as it is still included in the industry sector, is included in the cities area where we talk about it, and we have a lot of products regarding it. Okay. First, let's talk about fashion and climate crisis. I think you all have already known and already have heard about the term climate crisis, but I really want to help you understand what is the connection between climate crisis and the apparel sector. I said it, the apparel sector here. Yeah. How and why does it affect the climate crisis? So we can start by talking about the growth of population and the growth of the middle economy that creates increasing demand on apparel. It is estimated that by 2030, there will be more than 3 billion middle-class people in developing countries. And fast-growing middle class or fast-growing people in general means more money to spend and increasing demand for goods and service. As we know that main goods that will be demanded is the every person's basic need, which is sandang, pangan, and papan. And sandang is what the apparel sector produce, right? Now, unfortunately, growing population means growing demand of clothes. We discovered that this industry is home to various environmental effects. The first effect is that it contributes 2%. It contributes in the percentage of 2% to the annual global greenhouse gas emission, around 1.025 gigatons of CO2 equivalent in 2019, and it is projected to rise to 1.58 gigatons of CO2 equivalent in 2030. You can see the graphics here. What is the impact of those two? Where does those 2% of contribution came from? It came 52% from the material production stage, such as when you knit, you weave, you dye, or you finish the products. And 24% of it comes from the raw material extraction process, such as when you do cotton farming or you do oil and gas extraction for synthetics, and etc. You can see at the screen here that there are a supply chain analysis of the fashion or the apparel sector industry. You can see for tier 4 to tier 1, such as raw material extraction, to raw material processing, to material production, and to finished product assembly, how much it respectively contributes to the annual global greenhouse gases from the apparel sector. So meaning that when we know this, we can create a solution prioritization on which stage to interfere. Okay. At the same time, not only that it contributes annual global greenhouse gases, it also when you create or when you produce one cotton T-shirt, you have to consume. It needs water consumption that is equivalent to the water consumption that is needed by one person in 2.5 years of its life. And at the same time, 35% of microplastic entering the ocean also come from synthetic fibers. So those are the three environmental effects that this industry contributes to the climate crisis. Okay. At the same time, we also know that fast fashion and consumerism are related issues that is growing at the heart of apparel industry. We all know that fast fashion uses innovative production and distribution models to dramatically cheapen and shorten the fashion cycles, right? It was to give you a clearer view on how fast the fast fashion is. The number of fashion seasons, which is usually only 2 per year, which is only 2 seasons per year, which is spring or summer and fall or winter, has dramatically increased into 5 or even 100 micro season per year. You can see from the graphic below that the fast fashion make more season, more fashion season per year, therefore creating more clothes, creating more consumption, and more emission at the same time. At the same time, because people are given more options to consume, they then consume more. Where research has stated that the average consumer is now purchasing 60% more items of clothing compared to the year 2000. And at the same time, each garment is only kept half as long. So we consume more, but we kept less. The elephant in the room is that many of today's industry business model are not fit for tomorrow's resource restrained world, since most business growth is still predicated on more people buying more goods. They are very dependent on consumption. Even if the sector took the best mitigation strategy, which is to reduce the emission, it still face gap in reducing emission and continue to have other impacts. Example, water pollution from textile production and pre or post consumer waste, and so on and so forth. So business model, so industry fashion business model here is also not really sustainable. Therefore, transformation in business model that creates product like decouple revenue from selling so business model that decouple revenue from selling new products such as apparel resale or rental should be developed at larger scale, and other transformation ideas needs to be created in the near future. So what could the solution possibly be? I stated here that scientific problem requires scientific solution. Therefore, mitigating climate crisis in the apparel sector needs to start by quantitatively and holistically eradicate its leading cause, which is the greenhouse gas emission. But before we reach to that conclusion, I want to give you a little story about the world's measures or the world's action from 2000 and I think 2007 or 2010 gitu until now. Okay, for those of you who are not familiar, environmental leaders have an annual climate change conference named the COP or Conference of Parties, or maybe you frequently hear about COP26, which is a big hit news in the past months at November 2021. So basically, the COP, which is managed by the United Nations Framework on Climate Change Conference (UNFCCC), talks about how each country collectively should contribute in combating climate crisis and preventing the worst of climate catastrophe. So since at that conference, people talk about how we should reduce the worst effect of climate change. And how did they do it? Since they know that climate crisis is a scientific problem, they understand that we have an opportunity to approach it in a scientific way. Then the world leader asked the scientists at IPCC, maybe if you have heard, International Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, what is our Earth's temperature limit that will prevent us to reach the climate catastrophe? Then they create a projection and create a research of living cases in 1.5 degrees Celsius, in 2.2 degrees Celsius, or even 2.5 degrees Celsius, etc., and conclude that 1.5 is the best limit we should strive, since its impact is still reversible and manageable. So that's why maybe you've heard, or maybe you are familiar with this phrase, which is Indonesia pledged to reduce GHG emission by 29% by unconditional reduction, or 41% with international assistance, right, by 2030, which is stated in its NDC, or NDC is a nationally determined contribution, a book of climate change action commitment submitted by every country. That calculation is based on scientific prediction that we can only survive if we limit the Earth's temperature by 1.5 degrees Celsius. Therefore, the scientist then counts our carbon budget, our remaining carbon budget, distributed it to every country, and then the emission target is created. What I want to emphasize here is that since climate crisis is a problem that's surfaced by scientific claim, it became a scientific problem as well and requires scientific solution or approach as well in its solution. So it needs a quantitative approach, since quantitatively doing things is the heart of scientific is the heart of scientific things. at the same time, since we know that the leading cause of climate crisis, which is the GHG emission, came from all country which have all activity all activity in its country, whether sources from industry or individual, which also have its own different context, it made climate crisis become a very complex and a very interconnected problem. One thing led to another. So it needed a holistic approach. That's why in the national and global level, the government tried to categorize the 5 key sector of emission source, which is the forest, the energy, the waste, the agriculture, and also the IPPU, or industrial process and product use. And that, as for the fashion industry, having a holistic approach means that we have to know what is the overall apparel industry supply, how does the overall apparel industry supply chain look, and how much does each process contributes to the emission, and how much do we want to reduce in each of its process. Yeah, so I want to help you understand that and also mainstream this idea, because climate crisis is a scientific problem. It needs scientific solution, which have the parameters of, first, all solutions can be quantitatively done, and at the same time it needs a holistic approach, since the emission source is very well interconnected. That let it sink for a minute. Okay, back to the topic. So when we talk it in the when we bring apparel industry or fashion industry context, gitu ya, we have to understand the industry supply chain. I've already mentioned it earlier before that the apparel industry supply chain consists of raw material extraction to raw material processing to material production to finished product assembly, and then office, retail, and distribution centers. It is the scope that is concluded in that the industry have much more control on the variables. The other phase that have that the individual have more control of the variables is the last two, which is the consumer use phase and also the end of life phase. When we extract raw material, there are emission from cultivation and cultivation from the earth, and the extraction from the earth and plants or animals. In the raw material processing, there are emission from the processing into yarn and other immediate products. From the material production, there are emission from production and finishing of materials. From the finished production assembly, there are emission from assembly and manufacturing of the final products. And even from the office, retail, and distribution centers, there are emission from other corporate activities such as administrative activities or distribution, emission from generated from transportation that is sent from the warehouse to the customer's house, etc. And even at the consumer use phase, there are emission from consumer care of the product, such as washing, drying, dry cleaning, and even at the end of the life, there are emission there are different emission when we recycle, when we toss the products to landfill, or even when we choose to incinerate it, where we combust the products. Okay. Let that think that each of these processes contributes to heightening the greenhouse gas emission. So what could the possible solution be? And what could you guys as communication science students do to help, especially with your expertise? There are two solutions possible. The first is an industry scale solution or a top-down approach. It is done to reduce emission in the internal process of the business. Should be done when we are a producer who have control of the business process. The solution include such as first conduct a baseline company-wide GHG emission calculation, or in a simpler term, it means that we have to know how much our business emits emission in all of our process, in all of our in the end-to-end supply chain we have. Second, determine our science-based GHG emission reduction target. We want to reduce by how much, by when. And third is to produce a decarbonization strategy that fits the company's context. If you see in the screen, you can see that for tier 1 to tier 4, there are a prioritized solution proposed, which is a prioritized solution proposed. You can see such as maximize material efficiency, or scale sustainable materials and practice, or accelerate development of next gen materials in the tier 4, which is the raw material extraction phase. Yeah, the tier 3 or the second phase. What is advised to be done first is like maximize energy efficiency, such as choosing a more environmentally friendly technology, and then shift to 100% renewable electricity. And the tier 3 and the tier 2, it is advised to eliminate coal in material and production manufacturing, etc. Or I think the previous speaker have already gave her point of view, right, as a practical as a practicee. The second solution that could possibly help us prevent the worst of climate crisis is individual scale solution, or the bottom-up approach. It is done to avoid or reduce emission from our consumption choice. And at the end, create a better awareness of any product consumed. Should be done when we are a consumer who don't have control of the business process. What we can do is there are three. First, we need to calculate our lifestyle emission from clothing. Second, we need to avoid or reduce emission from clothing. Example, choosing sustainable brands or minimizing clothing consumption, like thrifting, etc. Or third, if we can no more reduce our emission, we think we have already made all the wise and environmentally friendly choices, but we still have the remaining emission, gitu. Or there are many alternative solution that are provided in today's existing market. We can shift to 3, which is to sequester or absorb our emission from clothing. Example, by planting tree. This is very interesting. I think this is all very interesting in the papers, but how can we concretely actually do it? Now, this is why I want to show you an interesting video first. Okay. Oh.
LinkedIn is awesome.
Wait,
right?
yeah.
But using LinkedIn for straight.
Okay. How should I? Okay. Wait a minute. Sorry. Wait, how do I? Sorry, why can't I stop my screen share?
Okay.
Why can't I stop my screen share? Can the committee help me stopping my screen share?
We might gonna ask the operator to help Miss Nada, please. All right.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I will start my screen share again. Sorry. Okay. Where is it? Okay, sorry for the inconvenience, guys.
Okay, Miss Nada.
Perkenalkan, ini Jumi. Akhir-akhir ini, Jumi sering merasakan cuaca yang tidak menentu, seperti panas yang ekstrim maupun hujan berkepanjangan. Jumi berpikir mungkin ini adalah salah satu efek dari krisis iklim. Jumi tidak salah. Perubahan cuaca yang ekstrim merupakan salah satu dampak dari krisis iklim. Jumi pun teringat video pejuang bumi yang menunjukkan bahwa aktivitas manusia adalah penyebab utama dari emisi yang memperparah krisis iklim. Kini Jumi bingung, apa yang bisa ia lakukan untuk melawan krisis iklim? Bisakah individu sepertinya melakukan sesuatu untuk menghadapi perubahan iklim? Untungnya sekarang ada aplikasi emisi. Di sini Jumi bisa melacak dan menghitung emisi dari aktivitas sehari-harinya. Dari makanan yang ia makan, baju yang dipakai, listrik yang digunakan, sampah yang dihasilkan, hingga moda transportasi yang ia pakai dalam perjalanan. Semuanya dapat dihitung dengan mudah. Jumi hanya perlu memasukkan informasi ke aplikasi emisi yang pilihan pada fiturnya sudah disesuaikan dengan karakteristik masyarakat Indonesia. Dengan visual yang menarik dan mudah dipahami, Jumi dapat melihat emisi yang ia hasilkan dalam periode minggu, bulan, maupun tahun. Juga perbandingan emisi dari setiap aktivitas yang dilakukan. Ternyata lumayan juga ya. Tapi tenang, aplikasi ini juga bisa membantu Jumi untuk mengurangi emisi. Dari informasi mengenai mengubah aktivitas menjadi pilihan yang lebih ramah lingkungan, hingga ajakan untuk menyerap emisi dengan menanam pohon. Oh, Jumi mau mencoba menanam pohon. Jumi bisa menanam sendiri atau menanam melalui organisasi penanam pohon di Indonesia. Klik ikon pohon, lalu aplikasi akan menyuguhkan berapa jumlah pohon yang perlu ditanam untuk menyerap emisi. Juga menunjukkan berbagai mitra penanam yang dapat membantu menanamkan pohon sesuai dengan kebutuhan Jumi. Melalui para mitra penanam, pohon-pohon ini akan ditanam di berbagai wilayah di Indonesia dan melibatkan petani setempat. Sehingga dengan menanam pohon melalui aplikasi emisi, Jumi tidak hanya menyerap emisi, tapi juga turut memberikan dampak ekonomi dan sosial terhadap masyarakat yang tinggal di sekitar pohon. Kamu juga bisa menjadi seperti Jumi, menjadi pejuang bumi dengan menghitung dan menyerap emisimu. Dengan membiasakan menghitung emisi dari aktivitas yang kamu lakukan sehari-hari, kamu dapat menjadi lebih bijak dalam memilih aktivitas yang lebih ramah bagi bumi. Dan dengan turut menyerap emisi, maka perlahan dampak dari krisis iklim bisa terhindar. Yuk, ajak teman-teman serta keluargamu menjadi pejuang bumi. Dimulai dengan mengunduh aplikasi emisi dan kunjungi nol-emisi.id.
Eigentlich ist es völlig wurscht, wie man seinen Partner kennenlernt oder seine Partnerin.
Okay, I will go back to my presentation. Okay. Okay. Can you all see my slides?
Yes, it's there.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I hope you get the idea of MEC. So by that product idea, where he have a hypothesis that maybe people can't actually reduce their individual emission because they don't know how much they contribute in the first place, and also they don't know what solution needs to be done if they already know that they produce that much. So therefore, we help them by giving them information on alternatives on how to reduce those emissions, and also at the same time we give them an existing and an existing and familiar climate solution, which is let's then just absorb your emission by planting tree. So because of that, we create a way to count your emission and count a tree sequestration or absorption power, so that every emission, every climate solution can be accountable and easily done. This is the technical notes that we already produced. There are 3 technical notes that is the foundation of that application, and you can read it more at the bit.ly _TNMEC. It uses Indonesia's context. It also doesn't oversimplify the calculation. The calculator is also very easy to implement, reviewed by national and international experts. It is also open and transparent. And at the same time, we also regularly update its feature. Because this is like the way of thinking of the emission app. We make lifestyle emission and climate solution contribution can be quantified and transparent, and at the end it can ensure effective impact. We count emission from daily activity. We then equivalated it with how much tree planting needs to be done in order for it to not exist anymore in our atmosphere. We want to change people's behavioral response, like when people think that I don't know how much emission I want to reduce and what are the things that counted as climate action. We want to change it into I have an emission reduction target, so they know what they want to achieve, and because they already know how much they contribute right now. So then they can ask, if I want more climate action, what other options are there to take? At the same time, they can also think that they can also shift from thinking that let's plant a random amount of tree because it's a popular climate action, so they can actually know that how much tree is effective to be counted as a contribution, So they can ask, if I planted 1 or 10 or 100 trees in my backyard, is it enough? This then made people have a clear emission reduction target, have a clear understanding. Before that, this made people have a clear awareness of how much they emit, then have a clear emission reduction target. Also understand that there are various climate solutions and each have its own quantitative contribution. Not only they are not the same, so there are a contribution that is more prioritized than the others. In the end, we can know which action is urgent for us to implement. Well, I have a deep dive about emission app, but I think the time is very limited, so I'm only going to run through it because I have another video to explain about this. But this is the back-end process of the emission app. First, we create a life cycle assessment to calculate emission that is embodied from each fashion material and each fashion product. As you can see here, then we determine the emission factor of all the various types of apparel, starting from tops, underwear and sleepwear, bottoms, outers such as jacket, sweater, jumper, dress, pair of suits, gloves and socks, sportswear and swimwear, and also even scarves, headscarves, hijab, etc. Then we analyze its whole supply chain process, starting from extracting the fiber to pre-treatment, weaving, spinning, heat setting, and washing, texturing polymer fibers, and even extruder spinning. We determine how much the average emission of those process in creating different materials such as cotton, acrylic, nylon, polyester, and elastane, and then we calculate the emission embodied in each of the materials, and then we combine it. So if you have a top created from material A or material B or material C, how much do you contribute to the environment? Like that, just like that. And the calculation is, the user only need to enter their purchase costing data, then enter the garment type, enter the number of items per garment, and then the app automatically calculate the emission using our database, and then it generates the report on how much GHG emission in each of your garment. Okay, this is the example of the emission. So yeah, you can really use it into a practical way. Like if you buy, first scenario, you buy 2 shirts, 1 trouser, 2 underwear, and 1 jacket. the application can calculate it for you and then generate also your emission is 45.9 kilograms CO2 per equivalent. And then here I also added a tree sequestration power, like example pohon durian, it can absorb 74.848 kilograms of emissions. So if you want to absorb those emissions, you can choose to plant one durian tree. It's as simple as that. Okay. Yeah, I think I don't have time to explain this. I will only give you the video explanation on how this application work, but be sure to download it at Google Play and also play, as it is already available at Google Play or App Store. Yeah, I'm going to show you one more video. Okay, wait, yeah. Really, I really like when talking about these topics.
Hey guys, real quick, let me give you a tip on Udemy. It's an amazing place where you can learn just about anything from the comfort of.
Okay, since our product at WRI really help people to quantify things, yeah, but it's very I'm very sorry because the time is very limited. But you can ask me away at the question and answer session. Okay. Yeah, I think my time is up, so then I will proceed to give you my give you the conclusion. So what can you do as a communication studies student? This is a quick brief only. So the communication strategy that is needed now is to level up people's campaign and mindset on what to do as an individual to combat climate crisis. You need to shift from aiming to only educate to aiming to change behavior. Only aiming to promote random solution to promote a quantitatively more effective solution backed by science. Only aiming to use general knowledge as a compass for action to using science as a compass for action, and aiming from only creating contents that are rich in what but lacks in why, and how to contents that is rich in what, why, and especially how, in order to produce people that are that have more significant and concrete action. The things that you can communicate is such as, first, you can make people aware that each product they choose has different embodied emission generated from the overall supply chain process, such as Levi-Strauss here. they try to give you an idea on how much emission a Levi product generate. It can give people holistic lens and understanding, push companies to be more transparent with its supply chain emission, and also companies can showcase its sustainability initiative. The second, you can remind people that they can choose what they consume. That is very important. You can create contents that compare USO versus green fashion products, such as what we did with MRT Jakarta. We compare how much emission generated from using MRT with using motorcycles or cars or even the bus Transjakarta. At the end, it can break consumer from their own consumption bubble or pattern, making them choose products more wisely. It can also promote green alternative products, and at the same time, it can give signal that alternative products are actually in demand, hence pushing mass production of creating new startups or companies that can produce green alternative products itself. And lastly, you can mainstream science-based ways to change people's fashion behavior, starting from counting emission using our product MEC app, reducing emission such as avoiding emission by buying clothes with high emission material, only buy clothes when needed, thrift shopping, or shifting emission by buying clothes only from environmentally friendly brands, or even improving ways such as creating clothes only from recyclable material. And at the end, if you can't reduce emission anymore, you can shift to sequestering emission. But it is actually the last prioritized solution. Only when you can reduce anymore by planting trees, and you can also use our emission app. Okay, that's all I think for today. Really hoping for you to ask more about this on the question and answer session. Thank you for the committee for giving me more time, and I'm giving it back to the moderator. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Nada, for sharing your insightful thoughts in the second session. And oh my god, that was a lot of relevant data and numbers that reflect how fast fashion contributes to big part of the climate change. Also, like the correlation between fast fashion and the counting of emission, and even our technology these days provide us an app to count how much emission we make in our everyday lifestyle, right? In fact, downloading the app is one of our action to support the environmental sustainability. As a communication student and as a human being who communicate, Ms. Nada suggests us to level up the campaign to help spread awareness about the use of emissions, especially in consuming fashion. Now, I must remind you to keep your question by your own because the Q&A session will be held at the end of today's seminar. Before we move on to the next agenda, we will watch some messages video from our dear sponsor. Check it out.
Cuma rebahan, tapi bisa bikin perubahan. Waktunya mulai bisa apa aja dari satu aplikasi. Mulai adaptasi cara bayar baru.
Bisa, kan pakai kris. Jadi mudah.
Mulai eksplorasi cara tarik tunai baru.
Ya bisa lah. Dengan mobile tunai, gak perlu ribet.
Mulai melihat potensi bisnis baru.
Bisa dong. Transfer luar negeri cukup dari sini.
Oh, itu aja ya?
Enggak lah. BNI Mobile Banking punya banyak fitur yang buat kamu bisa apa aja. Bisa investasi, buat life goals, kirim digital kado,
Bayar tagihan rutin, top up e-wallet.
dan berbagai fitur untuk transaksi lainnya. Aku aja punya BNI Tablus dan BNI Mobile Banking.
Yuk, buka tabungan dan aktifasi sekarang.
Cukup selfie.
Dengan tampilan BNI Mobile Banking baru,
Mulai bisa apa aja sekarang.
Tahu nggak? Sekarang buka tabungan cukup dengan selfie. Langsung aktif untuk transaksi dengan BNI Mobile Banking. Semua nggak pakai nanti. Terus ambil uang tunainya gimana? Bisa langsung tarik tunai tanpa kartu di ATM BNI. Semakin happy, bisa bayar tagihan rutin. Waktunya pergi hangout, e-wallet diisi dulu. Kalau bayar di merchant, cukup scan kris. Punya adik yang jauh di luar negeri, buat dia tenang studi, kirim uang langsung dari sini. Kiriman uang ke luar negeri makin easy, nggak pakai nanti. Nah, untuk mama sayang, kirim surprise pakai di kado, langsung sampai, nggak pakai nanti. Ada kartunya lagi. Cukup satu aplikasi, download mobile banking BNI, gak pakai nanti.
Ramadan lebih asik pakai Liven, semua ada di Liven. Ramadan lebih asik pakai Liven, Ramadan lebih asik pakai Liven.
All right, I would like to say thank you to our sponsor for sponsoring today's event. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally arrived at the last segment of today's seminar. I hope you can still feel the excitement, even though it is our last session. And also as the previous two segments, we always started the topic with the finalist feature. So without any further ado, this is the third finalist feature.
The majority of people from every age group use social media regularly. Given its nature in spreading information swiftly, social media has the potential to prevent climate change by raising awareness and persuading the public to be more concerned about environmental conditions and damages.
Media, social, and trend has a huge part in resolving environmental crisis. Everything is very fast and digital in current time. We can gain information very easily from the social media. It is a tool that we can use to spread awareness about the dangers of fast fashion and why sustainable fashion is better for the environment through big social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and the others.
Social media has a huge impact when it comes to solving this problem. Social media allows information to spread quickly and widely. So, this can be used to spread information that can counter fast fashion trends by creating new eco-conscious trends and contents.
Social media and its trend is, I believe, one good tool to be used in advocating for climate change mitigation because it plays a major role in providing a free and also inclusive space for everyone to engage in the discussion of climate change. Not only that, the freedom that we have in social media also allows us to encounter a diverse information, sometimes even contradictory with each other in climate change discourses. However, I believe that precisely because of this diversity, the importance of social media and its trends in advocating for climate change countermeasures is becoming more and more important. While the role of social media in providing spaces is arguably significant, I believe to what extent it could actually change the behavior and condition would differ. It's because we cannot just assume that this type of campaign is gonna work for everyone. Nonetheless, with social media and its numerous informations, we can be informed of many solutions and tailor ourselves to which solution works best for us.
Everything has been disrupted by social media. Everyone has a social media account for personal, professional, and entertainment purposes. As a result, social media have become a powerful platform to deploy the issues that formerly only depended on the center but now could affect everyone. The ability to use social media has an impact on how the entire organization operates, including disseminate the environment sustainability. Using social media to address environmental issues become critical to how efficiently we design the messages. Social media also permits the audience to be the source of activities, strategies, and ideas.
What an amazing way of thinking that our finalists have, right? This does trigger us to think more critically about our last topic on how message and digital campaign strategy leading to the new era of sustainable fashion. And I'm not here all alone. I have Miss Intan Anggita Pratiwi with me today. Hello, Miss Intan.
Hello, Alia. Nice to meet you.
Hi. So speaking for herself, Miss Intan is co-founder of Setali Indonesia. So if you're not really familiar with that, Setali Indonesia is an organization engaged in decluttering and thrifting to support the sustainable fashion movement, which is a movement to protect the environment from the dangers of fashion industry wave. We believe that these pre-loved items can be useful for the other needs, right? To get to know Miss Intan more, let's take a look at her CV, shall we? Yeah? Great. So here it is. Miss Intan Anggita Pratiwi has been recycling fashion since 2004 on her campus. She has been running a fashion brand that uses denim with ikat and Indonesia weaving technique in 2012. We will probably gonna scroll down to see more of her amazing project, shall we? We're scrolling down. I saw some. That was amazing, Miss Intan. I am obsessed. Oh my god, is that the ancestral? Really? Really
Yes.
obsessed with that. Oh wow. Next, next. Oh, that's a textile art, closed loop fabric waste, amazing. There's a weaving and what is makram? Macrame? How do you pronounce that?
Yeah, makram.
Makram technique. All right. We'll see another one. Giant wall hanging. Oh, you made that from like the waste of textile, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
100% textile waste.
100% textile wall, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Next, we'll see. Oh, still the hanging decoration, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, amazing. I love the color. Oh, there's a lot to see here. All right, let's see more. Weaving on canvas. Never heard about that. We will see more. Denim scarf marks and denim rug. Wow. I saw something about wedding dress. Can we take a look at that wedding dress, please? Can we take a look? Okay, amazing. This has been such an amazing journey. I know this has been more to explore about fast fashion, and I am sure that we all could not resist the fact that we are all so thirsty of the closure of today's insightful journey. And not to forget to say enormous thank to our sponsors, Mandiri and Tanam Duit, for sponsoring today's event. And by that saying, Miss Intan, this show is yours.
Thank you so much, Alia. And I want to the share screen now. Okay. Wait a minute. And Alia, how's going with the indie before? Because the indie is the Setali Indonesia team for the research and the development education. And maybe I want to skip about the fact about the waste, yeah.
Okay.
And we focus in the social media strategy. Okay.
Sounds really great.
Yeah. Is it? You can see my presentation now.
It's there, Miss Intan.
Okay. Hey, hi everyone. Okay, this one, the workshop of the Stali and the warehouse, and we gather like the declutter our donation box, and this one the fact of the fashion waste in the global. And if you know the Setali Indonesia, we support the sustainable living start through fashion, create a better future. But what our vision is in the social media is become a leading sustainable fashion social enterprise in Indonesia, and we empower local artisan and craftsmen in the process of doing so. And we gaining awareness to the sustainable fashion for become the top of mind brand that people associate with creating a sustainable solution for their everyday life. We provide a collaborative platform for local brands, artisans, and other organizations who are looking to adopt a more sustainable approach to their operation and raising awareness towards environmental issue. Okay, and in the offline online, we going to the maintenance collaboration with our brands and between organization and enterprise to support a sustainable economy.
And we gather the content in the social media like this one, provide educational content about sustainable fashion and living, increase people awareness, provide a range unique sustainable product and service to sustain the organization. And we help local tailors enhancing their skills and providing them with new opportunity to receive better income. Our key principle in social media driven by our 4P, purpose, people, planet, and profit. We give a new life to rejected, old, and unsold clothing items, transforming them into an inspiring creation. Everyone can contribute by donating their items and return enjoy selection of our carefully crafted upcycle. Every sales made will be direct to empowering the local tailors community, and so on. I'm upgrading to make some research about the sustainable fashion traditional around Indonesia. Setali purpose roots our content value, this one. We have the various action, simple like the meaningful, deep knowledge forming and building a culture of protection the earth. Believing the burden for the earth begins with awareness in dressing, a future, creativity, and this one is our roots of the content value. And we gather the people to contribute like the SME and support local artisan, and we gather the transparent supply chain. In all this content provide in our feed, in our highlight, and the generation can see what I'm doing with our recycling artists and breaking boundaries in a forum for collaboration and empowerment. This one is for the planet. Gratitude content mutual with nature. And what we doing for profit? We promoting artworks from the upcycling, recycling from our recycling artists. Now we have 8 recycling artists from the fashion, jewelry, and we have going on to the shoes. Sustainable future for all, and I want to balance the business side and creativity. How we work? We going to the offline because online without offline is like very heavy to promote all of our content. And setali operational lines, we have the end products, everyday flat price thrifting, and reduce fashion system. If you going subscribe to reduce fashion system, it's like 300.000 rupiah for the 1 year, and we can pick up your decluttering fashion. It's like 15 kilos, and after that we like the pilah-pilah the premium upcycle items and going to the collective recycling and going to the flat price. And we making custom B2B orders for the brands, and we going to the offline online education like now webinars and speaking invitation, and we going to the recycling workshop in our private workshop in Subo family. And the Subo family going to the groups workshop or the private workshop one-on-one. It's like 3 hours, and people can ask anything about sustainable fashion and can choose the recycling artist who guiding like the Indita or me or the Gema or the 7 artists. You can choose what you want. And the B2B consultancy is like sustainable fashion consultancy, like sourcing, design, production, and assessment. This is our collaboration. Collaboration, what do we expect from our collaborator and how we gain awareness on social media? We need and searching and digging the same value of sustainable brand pioneer in Indonesia. Like we have the program with the Electrolux, and Electrolux want to launching the product. The product is mesin cuci. In the mesin cuci, and sustainable brand pioneer make the campaign, it's make it less. If people buy the mesin cuci, and we can give them one product of upcycle from our recycling artists. And this one, we have the same value about the sustainable and works professionally by always prioritizing data in conveying information to the public. And we check the background of the brands and the collaborator, if it have the manners and the high awareness and the important achieve the vision and mission, and we can collaborate. If we check the background of the collaborator is like red flag, then we don't do it collaboration. Yeah, because in the sustainable fashion, a lot of the term like greenwashing, and we also have to activate the value shared by the company. Flexible and dynamic to change content value in the collaboration, and the social media must have the genuine like the uniqueness. You have the character in the content, in the feed, and just have the content, not just copy paste from the other platform. The other people have the data, but we gather and make it the genuine one. And sincerity is like you have the content, not a lot of the flexing, not a lot of the bullshit, and we just the origin value is very sincere, and you must be the organic one. Yeah, organic like you doing the offline community, gathering with the people, love the upcycling, love the sustainable fashion, and this one is like penetrating cultural provocative, because in the Setali Indonesia we doing a lot of the content by offline activity, and we translate in the online activity. This our project with the collaborator. This one is from Sintang, and we collaborate with the Kabupaten Lestari, and this one from the Minimal Store. And this one is from Pijak Bumi, and this one with the Didit Maulana. We have a lot of the fabric waste from the ikat and sfarna and translate to the wall hanging. And this one, Pijak Bumi, is one of the sustainable fashion from Bandung, and we convert the old one to the new one. And this one, we collaborate with Greenpeace Asia Tenggara. Because of that, we have a lot of the background clarity company. Before I'm going to collaborate, I check first to the Greenpeace. Is it red flag, or we can collaborate with them? And Greenpeace like say, okay, it's okay, you can make collaboration with them gitu. And this one, the Greenpeace Asia Tenggara, we join with the campaign. It's like a lot of the Baligo campaign ways, and we make to the one new sweater. And this one is from Nona Rara Batik, and this one from the Sejauh Mata Memandang. If you know the Sejauh Mata Memandang, it's not just the online campaign. They have the offline campaign, they have the collaboration with the movie, because the Mbak Citra Subiakto is one of the best fashion stylists in the movie area, like the Ada Apa Dengan Cinta, Ada Apa Dengan Cinta Part 2. If you know, the style is a lot of Sejauh Mata Memandang style. And this is Uniqlo Indonesia upcycling fashion waste. And people say it looks like a greenwashing, right? I have the one opinion about this, because the Uniqlo have the collaboration with UNHCR, and they provide one department in the Uniqlo. The name is Sustainable Department, and we gather the data about a lot of the drop box in the Uniqlo don't have any new change to making the new upcycling. And now we going to the make exhibition like the 6 months, and we have a lot of the consideration for the people, because the Uniqlo is a big brand, and the name of Setali Indonesia is like amplifying by the Uniqlo. And we have a lot of the insight for Uniqlo, and we a lot of make some campaign for this one. And I think it's okay if we have a lot of change policy in the fast fashion, because in the Setali Indonesia we don't against fast fashion, but we want to balancing, and people can have the alternative chosen by the sustainable fashion. And this one is from Zero Waste Wedding. The groom is from the WRI, and they come to me and going to the Zero Waste Wedding and say, I want to make some upcycling wedding dress. Is it possible? And I see, okay, it's possible, but it's mean all of your dress, it's secondhand, it's okay. And the family is like, oh, okay, the second hand, are you crazy or apa gitu. Terus if I say no, but the upcycling wedding dress is I want to combine with the tenun ikat ngada from the Indonesia Timur, and the family is like, okay, it's okay if you infuse with the Indonesian style, and this one upcycling wedding dress. Okay, maybe my English it's not so good, but this is the final presentation, final page, Alia. And if you want to make some discussion with me, you can reach me in the setali.indonesia, or the Instagram is Intananggita Pratiwi, and you can make appointment for the workshop one-on-one private about the sustainable fashion. And one message from me, if you want going to the sustainable fashion, just do it, because it's a lot of layer, because it's a lot of the notion like you must be blah 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 and blah blah blah, but if you don't do it now today, it's nothing. Yeah, thank you, Alia.
Thank you so much, Miss Intan, for sharing your amazing thoughts with all of us today, introducing us with Setali Indonesia, an amazing organization that inspire people to support the sustainable fashion. Especially, I am in love with the wedding dress. Wow, am I gonna consider that for myself? Okay, with that being said, it is time for the Q&As, and it is time for you guys to ask. Feel free to raise your hand or type them down in the chat box below with a format name _ to who are you referring the question to and the question itself. while the experts are here with us, we want to take the most insightful discussion with the experts. All right, let me see who's. You can feel free to raise your hand, or if you are unable to speak now, you may type your question down below. All right, let's see. Okay. This is such an amazing journey for me. Oh, okay. Think that we have one participants who are asking the question. I'm gonna help Sabita to speak up her question. Okay, Sabita is asking, I'd like to thank all the speakers for a fantastic presentation, especially to whom I'll direct my question to Miss Nada. So this question is for Miss Nada. I am very impressed by your presentation, and I personally think that the MEC application is a remarkable innovation, and in fact, I have already downloaded it to my smartphone. Wow, good job, Sabita. However, I have a few questions to ask. The first one is there any quantitative prediction on how MEC application would help in GHG reduction? That's the first question. And the second question is, in my interpretation, MEC application places the responsibility on people's daily activities, despite that the fact CGP on 2017 report stated that 71% of industrial greenhouse gas emission was produced by the huge fossil fuel corporations. All right. So how can this MEC application be used to encourage bigger stakeholders, e.g., for example, the corporation or the government, to participate in climate change mitigation? Thank you. Wow, that's a big question. That is such an insightful question. So, without any further ado, I will give the stage to Ms. Nada and to answer the question.
Okay. Wait. Actually,
Oh, I'm so sorry, Ms. Nada. Are you muting the microphone?
okay, hello.
It is like I can hear the double voice from the double device.
Okay. Okay, wait, sorry. Nah, clear now?
Can you try to speak again? Sorry.
Is it already clear now?
It's clear.
Okay. Can the committee please copy paste the questions from Miss Sabita, because I can only see it at my phone. I double meet, sorry, because I have another meeting.
Okay, for sure. I would probably ask the committees to help me on this, please.
Okay, thank you. I will log out from my phone then. Okay, sorry, chaos. Okay, first, yeah, I will answer it. For the first question, is there any quantitative prediction on how MEC application would help in GHG reduction? I interpreted this question as, is there a way to predict how MEC application really help in reducing the GHG emission from all the user subscribe to it, right? Well, the answer is, for now there's not, because MEC application actually just launched itself at 2020 at August. So it is a very relatively new application, but that is actually the second launching. The first launching is at July 2020. So because it's still at the development stage until the second launching, all of the complete feature are only available since August 2021. So because of that, we are still collecting our data, especially our impact data, and I can say that we can only predict our behavioral change impact that we create only after we run our application for at least 2 years. Gitu. So there is no prediction for now, quantitative prediction for now, but we are on our way to use it. On our way to produce it. Yeah, I can say that. That's for the first point. For the second point, this is a very good question. Okay, so as you can see that there are two sources of emission, which is first from the industry and second from the individual person, right? And the data is true, but the more precise data is that for 53% of all industry contributes to emission, and only the 47% 53% of global greenhouse emission is created by industry, and only 47% of greenhouse gas emission is sourced by individual activities. That is the more precise data. But we have to understand too that individual activities can only emit because there are such thing as system generated emission, which is an emission that is created because we don't have any other choices. You understand, right? Like our electricity, we don't have choice. We have to use coal-fired electricity because it's a monopoly in Indonesia, right? And we only have one electricity company, just like that. So that's what we have to understand. But we can say that individual activity is not important because it also plays a big percentage. But we also have to understand that it's mainly because the system generated emission. Okay, now how can we help? How to give a concrete and effective climate change action? Is it true to only target the individual, or do we have to target also the industry? The answer is both, because of that percentage. Of course, the industry we have to, of course, the individual we have to target, which is by using emission application for one of the solution. But the industry, we don't approach it with emisi project. As you can see, ini gue jelek kayak marketing ya, tapi as you can see, in WRI Indonesia there are many projects. One of it is emisi project. The emisi project targets individuals gitu to change their behavior. While at the same time there are other project which is named the SBT project, or Science Based Targets Initiative. You can Google it now, SBTI gitu. It is a certification created by WRI Global that tells people how much and how many emission they need to reduce in order for their industry to be in line to the 1.5 degrees Celsius pathway. Yeah, so emisi application doesn't directly help in industries because it's emisi application because its target market is not really the industry. The industry is targeted by other emission project under WRI Indonesia, which is named the Science Based Target. And I'm actually one of the team too. So that is a very interesting question. So well, I can maybe share screen a little. I guess, yeah, if you are very interested in this. Wait. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, this one deck, I think I can share a little to you. Oh, I'm sorry, can I be permitted to?
Am I going to ask the operator to help me here to give the co-host to Miss Nada? Can you do it now, Miss Nada? No?
No,
Not
I
yet.
still can. Okay. I still can. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Can we get a little help here, you guys? To make Miss Nada the co-host. She's about to share screen some more presentation.
Yeah, I still can't.
Right, let's wait for a moment. We might gonna ask the operator team to make Miss Nada the co-host of this Q&A session for a moment.
Okay. Again, thank you, moderator. Okay, so here it is. As you can see, yep. This is actually people can access this PowerPoint for public. Yeah, so it's okay if I share this. As you can see, in November 2022, there will be G20 in Indonesia, right? So because of that, the Chamber of Commerce, which is Kadin, in collaboration with the G20, has an idea to create a net zero hub, which will help industry, specifically industry and especially high emitting industry, to transform its way in order to a net zero pathway, so they can set an ambitious emission reduction target in line with the 1.5 degrees Celsius. And what is the target that it is used? Yeah, because there are a lot of ideas on how can we create climate actions, how should our sustainability journey look like, but there are no standardization, so there are no guarantee that every of those scattered action is in line with the science. And that's where the science-based targets came. They create certification that can standardize the baseline emission accounting, and then the targeted emission reduction that should be used, and also the decarbonization strategy. They can validate whether or not it is in line with the latest climate science, and whether or not our country, the companies, the industry's contribution will help us prevent the worst of the climate catastrophe. Yeah, like that. So yeah, what we are basically doing in Where In now is to attract as much as companies as possible to certify with SBTi, in order because we only have a limited time. The near-term deadline for us is 2030, and the long-term deadline for us is 2050. Only by that can we that is the deadline, the scientific deadline that we have now. So we don't want people to only greenwash gitu ya, like Mbak Intan already said, only says bullshit and then present you with numbers and solutions and data that doesn't actually help effectively reduce the emissions. So we create this certification. Yeah. Our target for G20 is to have 100 companies to commit to SBTi and then declare themselves at this very big momentum. And we can say, I can really say that SBTi is not greenwashing, because we have panel of experts and etc. that validate it. Yeah, so it's a very trusted process, like that. Thank you, Maud. Hope it answers your question, Sabita.
All right, to Sabita, does that answer your question? Okay, thank you so much, Sabita, for your insightful question. And next, we're gonna moving on to the next question from Tiffany. But before that, I would like to invite to everyone, and especially to our dearest lecturer, to either raise your hand or type your question below if you have things to discuss with our speaker, right? And now, moving on to our next question from Tiffany. To all speakers, she said, in your opinion, what can brands do to convince people to switch from fast fashion trends to sustainable fashion? Wow, thank you. We might start with Miss Indita Karina to answer Tiffany's question.
Can you repeat the question, please?
All right, I'm gonna repeat the question. Tiffany asked, in your opinion, what can brands do to convince people to switch from fast fashion trends to sustainable fashion? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your question. As I previously said before in my presentation, I think it would be useful if brands could collaborate more with influencers and use marketing strategies such as endorsements. So as far as I can see, it's very highly effective. Yeah, for people to be aware that sustainable fashion exists. Yeah.
Okay, that's the opinion of Miss Indita Karina. But let's hear from Miss Intan. What does Miss Intan think about how to convince people to switch from fast fashion to sustainable fashion. Miss Intan.
I'm back to my presentation before, like the value in the sustainable fashion is the sincerity, is the original, organic like if you have research, people doing the sustainable fashion a lot have the hashtag in the Instagram like sustainable fashion or the hashtag like ethical fashion. You can grab the market because this is sincerity market. If you have a lot of research, doing like make some list, you can collaborate with them because this community is very high impact, and you can make like the tap in strategic, and you can making like the blog is about your brands and you're doing with the sustainable fashion, but the blog is from the user generated content, is from the like the Korean drama liberation notes, yeah, like this one, the liberation notes from the people who have the value from sustainable fashion is doing great. Then you grab the people with the big followers but not too sincere, yeah, something like that.
Wow, comparing the solution to the K-drama, magnificent one. All right, let's get back again to Miss Nada. Miss Nada, what do you think about the strategy to convince people to switch from fast fashion to sustainable fashion?
Okay, thank you, Maud. I think I'm extending my previous stances, which is to expose and compare emission impact between the fast fashion, the brand that practices fast fashion, and also the brand that practices sustainable fashion. I think it can also help expose us on their competitive advantage. So the emission impact, just compare it and expose it.
Compare and expose. Wow, a great statement. So with that, those three answers from Miss Indita, Miss Intan, and Miss Nada, what do you feel, Tiffany? Does that answer your question? All right. Oh, she's texting me privately. Okay, thank you for answering Tiffany's question in a very specific answer. Now, I'm encouraging the participants to ask more insightful questions because we're here trying to dig more about sustainable fashion while the experts are here with us. You may raise your hand, speak up your voice, or if you are having trouble with that, you can definitely type down and I will read it out for you. Yeah, sounds great, right? All right, let's hear from another participants who we are waiting for another questions, because it has been such a journey, to be honest, for me, because even though I am the moderator here, it doesn't mean that I am very much understanding about the sustainable fashion, and being the MC and the moderator in this event does opens my mind more about the sustainable fashion. And I really hope that you guys, participants, feel the same way as I'm feeling right now. Right. Okay. We still have so much time to ask. Oh, okay. There is another person raising their hand. Miss Anastasia, you may open your microphone and speak up your questions.
Okay, first of all, I just want to say that thank you so much for all the speakers. It's really interesting topic today because I'm sure that is really relatable for me. But my question is, I want to refer to Miss Intan because actually it's really interesting for Stali. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Miss Intan said that Setali is not trying to prevent the fast fashion, but instead of prevent, Setali wants to balance the fast fashion itself. So my questions is, to what extent does Setali helps to balance the fast fashion itself? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anastasia. I'm direct answer the question. It's okay, Alia?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm doing to make a campaign regarding like the joining waving. Do you know wave of the decluttering Marie Kondo? Yeah, I have I have again awareness to people decluttering their lemari, and I make like the campaign is a dunia dalam lemari. It's like people decluttering their clothes and their kolega clothes or their family clothes, and we make a workshop one by one and going to the make the new one. It's like because I have the problematic insight about the sustainable fashion. Do you know what the best act from the sustainable fashion? It's use your clothes. The best act of sustainable fashion is use your clothes now. Not buying, not making, but it's like if you have the real action now, you can going to your clothes, you going to your lemari and making some decluttering, because if you have decluttering your lemari, you have the one of the state of the mental health, like you can pilah-pilah and you can melepaskan kemelekatan, like detachment about your mementos, because a lot of Indonesian people have the culture is hoarder, menimbun, and in the Stali Indonesia we focus on that for the first, because the mental is harus ditumbuhkan sejak mental dulu, and you must building your mental first about the decluttering and reflection about how you see the clothes and the hakikat dari sebuah pakaian. It's because of them you make a breakdown of your lifestyle pattern. You got it, Anastasia? It's very complicated, right?
Yes. Overall, I got it.
Yeah, and the first thing first is a reflection to your soul, because if you gather the fashion sustainable, but you just look to the other side, gini, if you buying the organic clothes, you buying the sustainable brands, but you buying more and more and more, it's not sustainable fashion. Yeah. Gitu.
Yes, agree with that.
Yeah. Maybe Alia can translate my opinion, because it's like the complicated. Alia.
Well, actually, Miss, I have one questions related to what you're saying. That, well, if I'm not mistaken, you say that we should raise our awareness since early age, right, about the system fashion itself.
Yeah.
So basically, I just want to ask: is there any specific communication strategies that Setali use to communicate that, to raise awareness, to grow the mentality about system fashions on an early age? Thank you.
Early is like the senior high school or the junior high school, right? I'm doing in my workshop now and my house now, because Setali Indonesia have the like the base camp, the Subo family is base camp Setali Indonesia, and people going to Subo family is like, okay, it's a listening bar. You can chit chat and make a photo selfie, but the corner is Setali and people can chit chat with me. And what is it? Is it the upcycling product? What the upcycling product? And a lot of, and we have the like brainwashing the youngster. I'm like brainwashing youngster, but the cover is a listening bar. The cover is Subo family, like, okay, is the people with some interest in the music going here, but the second layer is the about sustainability. Because of that, in the online campaign, it's not very successful if you don't balance with the offline. Yeah.
All right. Does that answer the question of Miss Anastasia? What do you think about that?
Kebayang nggak, Anastasia?
Yes. Thank you so much for answering my questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for the asking.
Amazing. So I'm also encouraging another participant, if you may have something to say, or maybe you want to sum up today's seminar, that would be great. Or you may want to ask more questions to Miss Indita, Miss Intan, or Miss Nada. You may raise your hand. Once again, you may raise your hand, or you can also type it down below. Oh, we have another question from Denise Rahel from Unpad. Okay, she's referring this question to all the speakers. I'm going to help the speakers to read the questions. So one thing I have noticed is that the brands that are considered fast fashion are not usually affordable for general Indonesian citizens due to the customs rendering and the price is higher than it should be. And most people here deem those brands as semi-luxury. Oh, I do agree on that. My question would be, do you think that fast fashion purchase is actually a huge problem that needs to be actively addressed in third world countries? Or should we direct our protest to the cheap, nearly free labor that fast fashion companies take from third world countries, and how they must start at least paying the minimum wages, as well as the industrial waste they dump on the third world countries? Are there two mutually exclusive? Thank you. Okay, that's a long, insightful question. We may gonna start to answer this question from Miss Nada. Miss Nada, what do you think about this?
Okay, thank you for the question. Wah, it's a very great question, actually. Hello, sorry, I think I've just muted myself again. Okay, thank you, Dennis, for the question. It is a very interesting question. I think both are two mutually exclusive. Because when we try to categorize fashion industries or fashion companies, we also categorize it by which is the company that focuses more on manufacturing, which is the companies that focus more on retailing, as in they then which is the company that is more focused on retailing. So different function that they deliver means different action that became their responsibilities. So I really do understand that having different contexts and different function like that makes people have different responsibilities. So it is so when the different context also calls on problems, not only on problems on environmental perspective, but also on labor or a welfare basis, then there needs to be an also directed solution and also specific solution directed to answer that questions. That is my stance. So I think those two are mutually exclusive. When we also talk about problems, we must not negate the context that connects with the target that we are researching or seeing. I mean that people needs to see climate crisis as a class crisis too. It is very interlinked with different classes. For example, like this. We have a principle in environmental world, which is known as the CBDR principle. CBDR principle means that we have a common in purpose but differentiated in responsibilities. So we all seek to try to stop the climate crisis, but we don't think that different countries with different contexts has to have a one silver bullet solution for all. Yeah. By acknowledging this, we know we then acknowledge that the solution that the developed country needs to give and the solution that the developing country needs to give is have to be differentiated because they have different contexts, they have different carbon budget, they have different time period in extracting the natural resources. Why does we have to be given the same responsibilities as them? Yeah, like that. So I think that's what people sometimes forget. They think that to reduce climate crisis, we only have to do one solution. Just like example, people. I think in my personal opinion, when people campaign about how Indonesian must be vegan, I think that's not contextual to our condition because we still have emerging health condition and etc. Gitu. So the better solution for us will be to eat local. I think it's okay to eat meat from cows and etc. Not go full 100% vegan, but please shop locally because by shopping locally you reduce emission from importing products like from Australia or Japanese Wagyu, etc. It's like that. Yeah. So I really so that's why I think those are two mutually exclusive because by principle climate crisis also think that also believes that we have to understand the context. So by understanding context doesn't only mean that we believe that we want to solve climate crisis, but we also have to understand it holistically. If we see that our environmental problem, okay, we strive for that. But if we also see economic problem, if we also see social problem, we also have to advocate for that. Yeah, so that's my stance. Thank you.
That is what Miss Nada thinks about Denise's question. And now let's hear it from Miss Indita. Miss Indita, you may answer Denise's questions.
Okay, hello Denise. Thank you for the question. Yes, I was actually just want to answer a similar answer with Miss Nada. We should shop locally, and rather than looking at sustainable fashion as a expensive a brand, or a product, because it's not like all sustainable fashion is organic. Organic is expensive, right? But we should also educate ourselves that there are also other alternatives than organic products, for example, as such as locally produced materials, sustainable fashion local brands, or even if you shop local brands also, and support community groups like Setali, for example. We have our own recycling artists, and we sell in our independent shop. So if you can support those local brands that have those independent offline stores, or either online stores, and also to repair your clothes or rework your clothes. So I think it's about breaking the habit. After all of these years, we always buy clothes from high street fashion. and easily to get, and of course it's cheaper, but we have to change our mindset now. Yeah. Especially relating to current issues such as the climate change, climate crisis, environmental issues. So I think you have to be aware, as a youngster, that we do not need any more clothes. Yeah, we already have so much clothes, in our wardrobe. So it's our duty now to take care of our planet by using and be considerate when shopping. Yeah. Thank you.
That has something to do with impulsive buying, yeah? Buying some clothes. We think that we need that clothes, but we actually don't. We just want to follow the trend. That happens to me all the time, but this opens my mind really much. So next, moving on to what might Miss Intan thinks about this issue. To Miss Intan, what likes this course?
It's because the transparent supply chain, I think. Because I'm already going around to Indonesia and research to Indonesian vendor of the supply chain, the fashion, like the natural dyeing, like the vendor of the tenun, like the SMA with the slow fashion area, and to be honest, it's not so expensive, but the brand have a lot of the milestone, and the brand with the sustainable fashion campaign have a lot of the budget for the marketing promo, because they want to spreading a lot, because it's a very side stream area in the fashion, right? And because of them, the people with the big brand in the sustainable fashion add the marketing and promo budgeting to the one clothes. Yeah, it's because of them. The big problem in the sustainable pricing is like they must tap in the influencer, and the influencer is pretty much a higher price, and they must be thinking about the organic packaging and eco-friendly packaging, and it's a very not cheap, and the people can buying the sustainable fashion brand is very hard to buying, hard the approaching, and the supply chain is like apa ya, kadang juga dimonopoli sama brand-brand besar, because it's like research. The one article of the organic is very pretty much a lot of research, like the cotton is from blah 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 because it's organic, and they buying the B corporate certified. It's very expensive. Jadi kayak semua harga itu tuh yang mengakibatkan is very expensive satu helai pakaian for the sustainable fashion brand. Yeah.
Okay, that was the analyzed thinking of Miss Intan sharing what she thinks about how fashion could be that much expensive, even though it is fast fashion and still considered as something expensive for Indonesian people. All right, and that last question closes our Q&A session. I have witnesses such an amazing exchange of ideas from both the speaker and the audience, ladies and gentlemen. For this as our forum to say thank you, Remind 2022 will be handing over plaques and certificates to our astonishing speaker and moderator. But before that, again, it is my honor to represent Remind 2022 to expressing our thanks to the sponsors, Mandiri and BNI. Also, we will continue our show after the following message from our sponsor. Check it out.
Cuma rebahan, tapi bisa bikin perubahan. Waktunya mulai bisa apa aja dari satu aplikasi. Mulai adaptasi cara bayar baru.
Bisa, kan pakai kris. Jadi mudah.
Mulai eksplorasi cara tarik tunai baru.
Ya bisa lah. Dengan mobile tunai, gak perlu ribet.
Mulai melihat potensi bisnis baru.
Bisa dong. Transfer luar negeri cukup dari sini.
Oh, itu aja ya?
Galah! BNI Mobile Banking punya banyak fitur yang buat kamu bisa apa aja. Bisa investasi, buat live goals, kirim digital kado,
Bayar tagihan rutin, top up e-wallet.
dan berbagai fitur untuk transaksi lainnya. Aku aja punya BNI Tablus dan BNI Mobile Banking.
Yuk, buka tabungan dan aktivasi sekarang.
Cukup selfie.
Dengan tampilan BNI Mobile Banking baru,
Mulai bisa apa aja sekarang.
Tahu nggak? Sekarang buka tabungan cukup dengan selfie. Langsung aktif untuk transaksi dengan BNI Mobile Banking. Semua nggak pakai nanti. Terus ambil uang tunainya gimana? Bisa langsung tarik tunai tanpa kartu di ATM BNI. Semakin happy, bisa bayar tagihan rutin. Waktunya pergi hangout, e-wallet diisi dulu. Kalau bayar di merchant, cukup scan kris. Punya adik yang jauh di luar negeri? Buat dia tenang studi, kirim uang langsung dari sini. Kiriman uang ke luar negeri makin easy, nggak pakai nanti. Nah, untuk mama sayang, kirim surprise pakai di kado, langsung sampai, nggak pakai nanti. Ada kartunya lagi. Cukup satu aplikasi, download mobile banking BNI, gak pakai nanti.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now it is the moment to hand out the plaques and certificates to our dear speaker and moderator that will lead by myself. And also, I'm inviting Miss Mazia as our project officer to be with me in the stage and taking pictures with our dear speakers. Well, let's start our first off giving away the plaques and certificates with our first speaker, Miss Indita Karina. I would also ask for help to the operator to show screen. Yes. All right. Okay. Are we pinning the speakers too? To Miss, okay. I'm going to help to count for Miss Indita and Miss Mazia to taking pictures together. Are we ready? Okay, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience here. Okay, there it is. Our two, Miss Indita and Miss Mazia. I'm going to help the operator to take some pictures of our speaker and our project officer. Am I gonna count? 1, 2, 3, pose. So pretty. Once again, 1, 2, 3, say rewind. Okay, amazing, gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Right. Next on Miss Mazia, you may stay on the stage, but we're gonna change to our second speakers, Miss Nada. To Miss Nada, you may come to the stage, open your camera. Oh, there she is. All right. Okay, I'm going to help again for the counting. There, okay, 1, 2, 3, pose. Gorgeous. Once again, say 1, 2, 3, rewind. Okay. All right. Thank you so much to Miss Nada. And next on, we will, okay, I'm back here again. Hello. Okay, next on, we will continue to our third speaker, Miss Intan. And also, the certificate might be shared now. Okay, can I join the picture here? Hello. I really love taking pictures. Okay. Oh, okay, we're posting again. 1, 2, 3, pose. All right, once again. 1, 2, 3, say remind. Great, great pictures. Oh.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Indita, Miss Nada, and Miss Intan Anggita for your willingness to be the guest speaker at our seminar today.
Okay, thank you so much to Miss Mizia as the project officer too. Okay, are we moving on? Okay, we are gonna move on. We would like to say thank you to Ms. Mizia, of course, for taking pictures with us as the representative of Women 2022 companies. And before we close the seminar today, our endless thank we express to Mandiri, Zoya, and BNE as our sponsor for the 6th annual Research Mindedness Seminar. But before that, I would like to capture the happiness of today's seminar with our participants today, right? Okay. I would kindly ask the lecturer, the participants, and our finalists to open the camera and capturing our moment today with us, Remind 2022. All right, I'm going to give you guys a chance to, kind of fixing your hair because we're gonna take a remarkable picture together. Yes. Okay. I see Safira here. I see. Oh, there's Miss Shafa. Hi, Miss Shafa. Hi.
Hello, Alia. Hello, everyone.
Okay, Miss Shafa is our lecturer, one of our lecturer. Okay, there's also Devi. Hi, Devi and Sultan. And we're here still. Wait for another participant to open their camera and taking some amazing, remarkable capture with us today. All right, let's see who's opening. Oh, there's also Miss Esra in here. Hi, Miss Esra. Okay. I guess it is our time to take some pictures. It's okay. I hope you guys can give the reaction of what you're kind of feeling to, as the representative of the capture that we're gonna take today. Okay, I'm gonna help with the counting down. So for the operator, are you guys ready? Take some pictures? All right, let's go. I'm gonna count from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Okay. On behalf of Remind 2022 committees, we would like to thank all of the finalists of Remind 2022, as well the audience of the 6th annual Research Mindedness Seminar for your attention and your enthusiasm. Also, not to mention Also, I would like to say thank you to all the lecturers that has been joining this event from the beginning until now, and also to the Research Mindedness finalists, we wish you tons of luck with your competition. And may everybody is having their best time at Remind 2022. I am Alia Sajida. See you on Research Mindedness 2023. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much to our speaker too, Miss Nada, Miss Intan, Miss Indita. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. Goodbye. Good job. Okay, I feel such an excitement, even though it's like it's the end of